Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 22 career mode, and today we're here for the 8th and 9th rounds of our Moto3 season at Mugello and Catalunya. Now if you haven't seen the last episode, I do recommend you go check that one out before you see this one, because it was a bit of a interesting episode. We got two wins, two really dominant wins. The AI's form just completely dropped. It wasn't great really at the end of the episode before in Portimao, but it was even worse in both Jerez and Le Mans. It was absolutely terrible. At least in Jerez they were within a couple of seconds by the end of the race, but in Le Mans I was a good 7-8 seconds up the road. It was absolutely ridiculous. So we're going to see how they get on in this episode, but I may start at the back of the grid if I set a really good time in free practice or something. Well, I suppose I can't start at the back of the grid if I set too good of a time, but if I'm massively quicker, then I'll see if I can maybe try and start further down the order just to make the race a little bit more interesting, because I don't want to just pull away all the time. But before we do head into the weekend, we've got to advance forward, so we'll advance forward to the Italian GP. Now this actually might be a track where they're somewhat competitive, because it is quite a high-speed circuit, and it seems like they've got good straight-line speed, so potentially there might be a bit more on it this weekend, but I guess we'll have to find out. So I'll see you after practice, and let's see how the AI got on. So then, at the end of that session, I was actually top of the timesheets. I wasn't until right at the end of the session when I went out and did a glory run, because I was outside the top 12, so I needed to actually make sure I went through into qualified 2. But as I thought, the AI do seem a little bit quicker around this circuit. It's actually not the last sector that they are really quick for, which is kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting the long straight would be where they have their pace. But they're pretty good through the Beyond chicane, changing direction there. And they're just pretty good through the high speed sections, which honestly is something I'm not too good at. So this actually might be an interesting race. You see, my teammates are right up there as well, 7th and 9th, and I think my objective is actually to beat them in qualifying and the race. I think I'm going to try qualifying for this race, just because the pace seems better. But if I do end up winning this one, then I probably will start at the back of the grid in Catalunya. So I'm actually still top overall on the combined time, so that is interesting, but you can see that the AI have to improve their times, because Foggia's now second. Bartolini actually came through qualifying 1, and they were already through to Q2 if it was off FP1 times. So the AI's times have improved a little bit, not quite be able to beat me, but in qualifying they might step it up another notch, and I actually might not get pole here, to be honest, but I guess we'll see what's going to happen in this session. But coming through qualifying 1 then, we've got Bartolini, like I said, Sasaki, Tatai and Aji. Now, you might notice something a bit different in this episode. I've made a few changes to the mods that I've got installed. Some riders have now got wheel covers on their bikes. I've also corrected a few different things. It's all cosmetic, so don't worry about that. But yeah, just a few little touches I've added before this episode, so I hope you enjoy those. So we've got John McPhee, our championship rival, in front of us, although at this point it's not really much of a rivalry after the last few races. But McPhee's 5th. On the combined times, I'm top, Foggia's 2nd, so that's a bit more what you expect to see, sort of Foggia Masia at the top. Because I did actually see a comment saying it earlier on, that the AI performance... Oh, I just crashed! Okay, that's caught me off guard, but yeah, the AI performance is not great in terms of which riders are fast. It doesn't actually match the real life season very well, and I've noticed that same thing myself, so it is nice to see that Foggia and Masia, like two riders that are quick in real life, actually being at the front there in the combined sessions. But we'll pick this bike back up then, we'll complete this sighting lap, and let's see if we can do a decent lap in the actual flying lap. So coming through Buccini then, about to start our first qualifying lap. Now something I do need to watch out for is that some of the corners, you actually lose your lap for not quite going off the circuit. Sort of the Arrabbiata 1 I think it is, you can literally ride the curve there, not actually go onto the green, and you lose your lap. So you've got to be careful. I think there's a couple other places like that as well. I think at Biondetti you might lose your lap for that actually going on the green, so I do need to bear that in mind. And sadly we've got the traffic of Fernandez in front of us as well, which is not ideal, because it's not the easiest place to sort of make a pass and not lose time on a qualifying lap. Around the outside, through Casanova, love the inside through Cervelli, but I'm going to have to stop it a bit more through Cervelli to keep the position, and he's coming back, so we're going to end up battling. It's going to cost me a lot. So I feel like Adrian cost me a lot of time on that lap, but we did manage to finally get the pass done on him. But up towards the line, I've got 3 red sectors, so we are still on course for pole position here, but I wonder how much by. 56, 57, by 6/10 of a second, so that's not going to stand, I don't think. I think they're going to go quicker than that. But if you look on the right hand side, we've got some concerns about the tyre wear. This track is quite hot. I mean, these are soft tyres, so they are designed to sort of get a bit battered like that, but that was after one lap really pushing them, so I think we have to be careful in the race, because I really don't want to use the hard tyre again, but I feel like the medium tyre is going to is going to wear out. So it is something to watch out for. But for now, we'll head back to the pits and we'll see where we are in a few minutes. So then, I'm actually a bit surprised by that. I wasn't expected to be on pole position by that much. I thought I had a good chance at pole position, but based on the free practice session, I didn't think I had 6/10 in hand over the field, but no one really improved. Well, they did, because Ortola's now second, but they never actually really surpassed that time by very much. They only beat it by like a few hundredths. So, yeah, once again, it seems like we've got the pace over the AI, but in the race, it will be different, because I don't think I'm able to do lap times consistently at this circuit. It's not a track I'm really good at. And the AI's extra straight line speed will come into it in the race, because down that front straight every lap, they were able to slipstream me. And you saw, even Adrian Fernandez, how much he managed to battle with me. So you never know who's going to be able to battle to. But so I'm hoping this will be a good race. On pole position once again. I don't even know which pole position this is. I think it's probably like our 6th pole position of the season. Probably about 6th in a row as well. So we're keeping that run of pole positions going. But I think the AI are going to put a bit more of a fight up in the race than they have in the previous ones. But if they don't, I'll definitely start at the back of the grid in Catalunya. So then we're down here on the grid looking at Kaito Toba in 3rd place. I didn't actually notice it was him in 3rd position. I saw Ortola was 2nd, but once again, it seems like some of the top AI are struggling a little bit. I think that's also probably what's not helping out the AI. The better ones are not even qualifying that well, so they have to come through in the race, and that definitely isn't helping them out particularly. Although it is just an underlying lack of pace. But it does seem like they are a little bit closer this weekend. We're only on pole, well, we're on pole by less than a second, which we could definitely take that one. And I think in the race, to be honest, they're going to be able to put up a decent fight. I think they are going to be able to slipstream me on the straights and stuff. And tyre wear is going to 100% come into this. I don't want to use the hard tyre again. I'm kind of scared of the hard tyre based on what happened at Qatar, to be honest. So I think I'm going to go with the medium, even though that might be a risky choice. I might have to look after the tyre a little bit. I think it's better actually having some grip at the start rather than having no grip for the whole race. So we'll get this race started then. I think this could be a good one.
The start of the Italian Grand Prix here at Mugello, just a few moments away now. And very soon we'll see the riders powering down to the San Donato corner.
So then we're on pole position once again. I'm just trying to look for the closest championship rival. I think it's McPhee in 4th place there, waiting for the lights to go here at Mugello. Lights out and away we go. What's the start been like? It's been a decent-ish start. 0.2 of a second. You can see the whole pack is behind us. So I don't know what it is about the AI in Moto3, but they don't get off the line very well. It doesn't seem that way anyway. The break for San Donato. I've lost the rear a little bit on the way in, and again, and again, and again. Oh, I've made a big mistake there. I've kept out the gravel, though. That is pretty costly. I've dropped right down the order. Behind my teammate now, even. We've got a Honda teammate on the outside. Someone's down. It's one of the Tech 3s. There's some more contact in the middle of the pack. We're down to 15th place. We're behind Sergio Garcia here, side by side with Tayo Furusato. Got the inside of Garcia we go. Not quite been able to pull off the move there. But what a shocking start. The launch off the line was fantastic, but I lost the rear into turn 1 a couple of times. Had to set the bike up. Fortunate to not actually go into the gravel with Furusato on the inside. That was kind of my fault. I kind of forced him there, to be fair. But I need to try and get moving. This kind of is a trial almost now for the starting at the back of the grid. Can we actually make our way through the pack? Because the AI are much more aggressive in this game than previous times. So I think if you pass them, they'll try and pass you back. So it might actually be quite difficult to carve my way through. But we'll have to see. I've given myself a lot of work to do now. We try and get the inside of Sergio Garcia. That was a good move. Up into 14th place. Mario Aggi up next. Then Carlos Tatai on the CF Moto. I think it was Adrian Fernandez that crashed earlier on in the race. I don't know how nobody else went down, to be honest, because his bike literally was in the middle of the pack, but all the AI actually managed to avoid it, which is pretty unlike the AI, honestly. That was risky through beyond DT1. I took a lot of curb there, I took a lot of risk. I know I'm quite far down the order, so I've got to try and take the risk, because the AI at the front might actually pull away if I get stuck battling the ones further down the order. We might get passed here by Garcia again. No, not quite. We've got the run on the inside of Aggi. You can see I've already got a lot of overheating. And this is their straight line speed. You can see the two riders in front battling, my teammate and Tatai. So we've got a slipstream here on Aggi. Can we try and get Mario as we go down towards the first corner, maxing out? This is where the straight line speed can come into it, but you can see we're already losing touch to that group in front. So we break for San Donato up the inside of Aggi. We're going up the inside of Tatai as well. Tatai's going to hang it around the outside. We've just been hit by Aggi. Aggi's just completely hit me sort of into Tatai, and Aggi's got the position back because of that. So this is what I mean about them being aggressive. It's going to be difficult to pick my way through. As I go on the inside of Aggi, I've repaid the favour, to be fair there. I'm not going to really give that place back. He punted me, but Moreira's just been off battling with Fogger in front. But Ortola still leads ahead of Toba in second, so the AI's order at the front still seems to be the same. as Tatai comes back through again. Oh, contact with Tatai. That's allowed Agi back through, and that's going to allow Garcia back through. Don't undo a whole lap's worth of progress. Around the outside again of a Honda Team Asia through that corner. This time we've got the position. Somebody's down. It's Masia. Masia's dropped it. So Masia's gone, so now up to 12th place. Still behind Tatai though. Really want to get past him now. Here we go around the outside of Tatai. Can I also get Bartolini? No, not quite. Tatai's actually going to come back at me because I lost a bit of time with the contact with Tatai. Both doing the same animation there. I'm looking at the inside into Correntao. Or Correntao, however it is. Agi's back up the inside. So I'm actually being held up quite a bit here. I need to try and get these guys. I need to really get rid of Agi here. But Agi's got me get back again. I've got a track limits warning. And now I've got Garcia all over the back of me. So I've actually made no progress on this lap. So we're definitely not going to be winning this race, that's for sure. I thought we could still win it after the first lap, but I don't think we're going to anymore. So here we are then, we've got the run on Agi. We need to try and pass Agi. Then if we can get Bartolini and Tatai, maybe we can put a bit of a run together and try and catch up to the leaders. So they're doing 58.1s, I just did a 58.8, so 7 tenths slower than the leaders. But Toba's hit the front ahead of Ortola in second now. Down to San Donato, looking at the inside of Bartolini. He's giving me the space, fair play. We've got him. It's been a crash. Not sure who it is. We need to try and get past Tatai here. And then try and get onto the back of Moreira. And then if we can get into that lead group, we might be able to do something. But it's proving difficult to make passes here. The inside of Tatai. Oh, that was a bit aggressive. But I got on the gas out of the previous part of the corner. Now I'm going around the outside of Tatai, go slot in front of him. So now behind Moreira. If we can get Moreira, get onto the back of Foggia, there's still a chance of this because we'll have 2 laps to try and carve our way through them, and we can probably pass a couple on the straight when they're all that close together. You can see my tyres overheating a lot as well, so I've got to watch out for that. I don't think it's going to wear out actually, to be fair, but it's going to be harder to tip in, and I might be able to high side myself as well if I'm not careful. So out here then we've got the run of Moreira. We should go flying past Diogo. We do indeed. So we're up into 9th place now. Foggia's up next. Fastest lap is probably going to go to me here. 58.0 for them, 57.8 for me. So only 2 tenths quicker than the guys in front. That's not going to be enough. They're a lot more than 4 tenths in front. We should be able to hang it around the outside of these AI into the first corner. Yes, we do. But I lost the rear again, just like on lap 1. Power, power, power. There we go. We've kept the positions behind. But I'm going to give it everything I've got to try and get onto the back of Foggia now. Right, so I've risked it all. I've used a lot of fuel, and I'm on the back of them just about as they start to battle as we go onto the final lap. If I can get a bit of slipstream here, this might help. Well, I've got 0.3 laps of fuel over target, so we are super close to running out of fuel. But I've had to try it. I have to try everything. 57.5, but I'm not even gaining on them on the straight line. On those Leopard bikes in front, they're actually still pulling away from me. This is going to be a scrappy little last lap. The 2 Leopards side by side. McPhee just in front of them. They all sort of go to the inside, then to the outside. I'm going to the inside. That was not a great idea. I've picked up a track limits warning, but no crash. So, again, like I always say, it's better to pick up a warning than to crash off. It's going to be difficult to pass any of these guys, I think, though. Oh, it's been a crash. Toba's down. He's taken out Foggia as well. So that's 2 positions right there. And that's dropped us off the back of the group, myself and Suzuki, sadly. So I think that's it. I think Ortola's got the win now, though, with that crash. Let's give Ortola a huge lead. So Ortola's going to win his first race of the season. I'm trying everything I can coming out this last corner. I'm not going to quite be able to catch us to the back of them. I think if I had a couple more laps, I could have won this race. Look how much of time we put into Agi as well as soon as we got away from him. But up towards the line then, it's going to be 7th place. A bit disappointing, but I think it was a good recovery. So that was a good race then, but apparently Ortola didn't win at all. It was actually Mino. So was Mino actually further up the road than everybody else already? I didn't realise that. I guess was Mino up the road, or did he just drag him to the line? Because he's won by 4 tenths of a second, so I don't know what happened there. I thought Ortola was leading, but maybe he wasn't then. But either way, 7th place in that race. Finally, we didn't win one, and that's kind of a little mini simulation of what would happen if we started at the back of the grid. But I don't know what happened to that turn 1. I think I looked back at the AI, I probably missed my brakes at a touch, and I think the tyres probably weren't up to temperature. As I went in, the rear was just all over the place, ran completely off the track. Fortunate to not go through the gravel, otherwise that would have been unrecoverable, I would have thought. So a decent recovery ride. The AI once again proved to be pretty aggressive. I think we lost way too much time behind the CF Moto bike of Tatai, and obviously with Garcia as well, who I think they probably both ended up getting knocked off by the looks of it, by that crash at the end. So yeah, good race. I did enjoy that one. We have lost a few points out of the championship, but I don't think anything too major. So yeah, has changed it a little bit, but we're still 40 points ahead of McPhee in second place there, 43 ahead of Mino in third, so we're not doing too badly there. Ortola moves himself up to fourth, Suzuki moves down to fifth place, Masia moving down because of his crash, of course. But yeah, we've still got a healthy lead there, so nothing to worry about. And in the Teams Championship, we've still got 25 points clear of everybody else, so that's not too bad. I mean, obviously I didn't get the perfect points today, but my teammates rarely pick up points, so I don't feel too bad about letting the team down there. Team MTA move up to 6th place. Red Bull KTM Tech 3 moved down to 8th because, of course, the crash for Adrian Fernandez. So we'll head back to the Career Hub now, and we'll see what we get from this weekend. Then we'll do anything we need to do and head into Catalunya. So then, we actually still gained a decent amount of reputation because we did still meet all of our objectives getting into Q2. I put it on pole position, so we got a little bonus for that as well. So we gained 4,000 reputation, which takes us up to 43,800. As for the credits, we still gained 4,610, so that's still a pretty hefty amount, but not quite taking us over that 100,000 threshold just yet, takes us up to 99,690. And as for the research data, a perfect weekend once again there, passing every single program, which gives us 401 engine points and 925 on the frame. And we can actually now upgrade the frame because of that, so if we go over to the frame, we can actually put the final frame upgrade on. That's come around pretty quickly. I've got better reactivity or tyre consumption reduction. Well, to be honest, tyre consumption has not really been a problem. Even in that race, to be fair, I was overheating the tyre a lot, but the grip was actually still there, so I think better reactivity is probably the one to go with, so we'll stick everybody on there, and that's going to take 7 weeks, so it'll be a while before we get that upgrade, but then that's the frame fully upgraded on this bike already. So then, without any more notifications, this seems to have gone pretty quick, we'll head into the Catalan GP now. Once again, I'll give it a bit of an assessment, see how we're doing in terms of domination, but we didn't dominate that last one, so you never know what might happen. So then, at the end of free practice here in Catalunya, you can see once again I am top, but again by an even smaller margin, not even 0.2 of a second this time, and that was a proper push lap. That was soft, power mode 3, and the reason why I did that was because I was 31st before I did that lap time, so the AI definitely seemed to be a bit quicker here. They also seem very close. If we actually scroll down towards the bottom, the slowest rider is only a second off my pace. It seems like the AI, at least in this episode, the 2 tracks I've been to seem a little bit quicker, so we'll head into qualifying now. Hopefully we're in qualifying 2, and hopefully we can try and fight for pole position and the win. So my time actually stayed top on the combined times. I'm not sure if the AI has actually changed, I can't really remember the order too much. But coming through Q1 then, we've got Alberto Sura, Ryusai Yamanaka, Matteo Bertelli, and Ayumu Sasaki. So once again, one of my teammates coming through. And I think my theory about them being quicker when you get given the leading rider development test, I think that is correct. I think they seem quicker once you get that, so that's good. Hopefully we can get that every weekend so that my teammates are a bit quicker. I almost headed onto the track with worn tyres then, that would have been rather silly. So we've got plenty of soft tyres to use. Again, it's going to be one of those things where tyres are going to be a little bit funny at this circuit, because they do wear out very quickly. The temperatures here at Catalunya are very high. They always have been on every game, so tyre wear is always a massive thing at this circuit. The softs do last enough to do a lap, so that's fine. But again, in the race, we've got to watch out with the medium tyres. Although, honestly, in Mugello, I was worried, and then when I actually got into the race, I think maybe because I was just focusing on trying to make passes so much, I didn't really feel much. The grip probably disappeared a little bit, but the wear and the actual heat wasn't too bad. I was setting my fastest laps on like the penultimate lap of the race, so the grip stayed with me throughout in that one. Turn 10's a really weird corner on this game, at least on the Moto 3 bikes. I literally cannot turn through it at all. I'm like full lean and the bike just will not turn in. It's a bit like Portimao turn 5. It's rather bizarre. So we are down towards the final turn then. It's been a pretty decent lap, honestly. We've only just caught Fernandez, so he's not going to get in my way. In fact, he might give me a tow. Up towards the line. Currently, Moreira's top with a 49.8. I've kind of been left for dead out that last corner, though. What have I just done? A 49.7, so just beat Moreira's time there. Only just. We've lost pole position already to Masia there, so the AI do seem back this weekend. They're actually able to beat my times. So I tried to improve, but we weren't able to. I did actually manage to pass Fernandez on that lap, but he just got back past me at the last corner. But I didn't manage to improve, so we're down to 6th place already. We have to head back to the pits and go for another set of tyres, I think. So coming up towards the line then to start another lap. You can see I've now been knocked down to 13th place. I'm 7 tenths off pole. The AI really are back. 49.0 is pole position now. We're not going to get anywhere near that. I just need to try and get inside the top 10. This will be my worst qualifying by far. So towards the line then. I've improved by about 3 tenths of a second. Where's that going to put me? The 7th place. So we're back up into the top 10 at least. Only 3 tenths off pole now. But I can't see myself finding another 3 tenths. Oh, I've invalidated my lap, but it wasn't going to be quick enough anyway. I was 8 tenths off, so it's going to be 7th at best by the looks of it. We're only 5 thousandths in front of Fogger though, although there's a lot of grey sectors here, so it doesn't look like anyone's going to improve. But that was my last attempt, because I'm not going to be able to have enough fuel to do another lap anyway, I don't think now, and my tyres are completely gone, so 7th at best. The AI really are back, which I'm happy to see. I was moaning the last episode they were too slow, and it seems like they've brought the pace here to Catalunya, so we're going to have a good scrap by the looks of it. But I just don't want to lose any more positions on the grid, because it's going to be difficult if I start any lower than 7th, to be honest. So then, at the end of the session, it was Yama Masia who managed to end up on pole position, just ahead of Andrea Mino in second place. You can see 32 thousandths of a second, super close for that pole position there. Tatsuki Suzuki in third place. I stayed in 7th, I didn't lose any more places, which is good. We've got a shot at a decent result here from 7th on the grid. It's not the end of the world if we can have a strong first lap. But where is John McPhee actually? So we'll have a look where McPhee is. McPhee's 11th place, so we've actually managed to out-qualify our closest championship rival, John McPhee. But to be honest, I think we need to look forward at Mino, because he's only a few points behind McPhee, so Mino is now my closest championship rival, I suppose. Messia's not too far off either, same with Ortola, so lots of my rivals up near the front. Fogger once again not having a great session because he's behind me, so I reckon this will be a good race. We've had one good race so far this episode. I think we're going to end up with 2. But we're down here on the grid then now, and to be honest, I am really looking forward to this race. I want to have a good scrap with the AI. I kind of missed it the last few races. I really enjoyed the race at Mugello, even though it was a little bit annoying because I had better pace and I knew I could have got onto that lead group if I had got past the likes of Agi and Tatai a bit quicker, but that's just racing for you, and it was good fun racing at Mugello, a track where I'm not super strong. Now, Catalunya, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting to struggle this much here. It's not been too bad for the AI in the past. I think their one-lap pace is probably better than the race pace if I'm going off previous events in previous games. So the tyre wear is going to be something to watch out for. I know they tend to drop back a little bit in the end of the Catalunya races usually. I think the recommended tyres are medium hard, but once again, I'm scared of that hard tyre, so we're going to go with medium, and it works pretty well at Mugello, to be fair, so that's what I'm going to go with then. But from 7th place on the grid, what can we do? Let's find out.
The riders are ready for the start of the Catalan Grand Prix. The lights are on, and as soon as they go out, it's going to get wild.
So Masia on that pole position, psyching himself up. Mino alongside. I've got a clear sight of them in 7th place here on the grid, waiting for the lights I've got here at Catalunya. Lights out and away we go. We've had a good launch off the grid. Up the gearbox. We're side by side with Ortola. We're going to be fighting for the podium already down towards the first corner. Suzuki's moving Ortola into me, and they're all moving over onto the left-hand side of the track. We go into the first corner, up to 2nd place by the looks of it. If we can just hold it to the apex, yes we can. So we're up to 2nd place. It's been a great start. Already on the back of pole sitter Masia, with Guevara, who's slotted into 3rd place. So already in front of Mino, which is the most important thing. But Masia's not miles away in the championship as well, so we've got to watch out for him. There is going to be some corners here where I'm probably going to be faster on this first lap. So if we can try and make a move on Masia and take the lead, then we're in a good position already, because from 7th on the grid, I thought it was going to be a bit of a scrappy race. It was going to be difficult to get our way through, but we've made a great start up to 2nd immediately as we go into turn 5, around the outside of Yama Masia. That was brave on the brakes there. We've taken the lead from Masia already. I'm hoping I don't just pull away here. I'm hoping they're not just suddenly going to be really slow in the race, but I don't think they are. I think they are going to come back a little bit, but that would have been my sector there where I made the pass, so I just wanted to make sure that I did. Hard braking as well. Struggling. Masia's come straight back through. So yes, he's proving that I'm not just going to get away with this one on the power as early as I can. Try and get a bit of slipstream off Yama. Can we try and make the position? In fact, actually, he had a great run out of there. Don't know if I actually might have been in the wrong gear. Slightly forced probably would have been better. We're closing up to him. Thought I was going to hit him at the back then. Try and get the cut back on him. He's a little bit wide through turn 10. We're at the inside. But this is what I was saying in qualifying. It's so hard to turn in there. I was at full lean and the bike just was not leaning in any further. It's like there's some sort of lock to stop you going any further. It's really weird because I'm leaning over much further in this corner, for example. So I don't really know what it is. But there's some corners in this game where you just can't tip in any further than a certain point for some reason, it seems. But through the final turn then, Masia still leads. We've got a good run out. The last corner we got on the power a bit earlier than Masia. Trying to get a bit of a slipstream. Are we actually pulling away? We're pulling away a little bit from Guevara behind. We've got the slipstream here on Masia. We're going to take the lead, I think, again, down towards the first corner. But I've been actually struggling on the brakes into this corner so far this weekend. See what I mean? Masia just sort of pushed me out the way. It was a bit dirty, that was, actually, to be honest. Not really having that. I'm going to try and go back at him again. But all this time while we're scrapping, that's allowed Mino to get right on the back of me. So he's managed to pass Guevara and get onto the back of myself and Masia from this battling. Mino's up my inside. I can't get the line on Masia I wanted. To be honest, Mino has probably just helped Masia there massively because I was going to do the same move again. on Masia. I was trying to line it up in the same way I did on the previous lap, but I couldn't try and get the exit out of here. You can see my tyres overheating massively already. But if it's like Mugello, it doesn't actually matter too much, fortunately. It's definitely not like Qatar anyway, where I was really struggling with the heat there. Oh, I clipped that curb there, crashed from behind for Surra. Masia go really slow there, so where Masia passed me on the previous lap, I almost passed him on this lap. We're right behind him through turn 9 then. Try and get onto this straight, staying in 4th gear this time. Much better run. We're almost hitting him at the back as we go down towards turn 10, where we tried to make a pass on him on the previous lap and couldn't quite do it. Once again, we've got in front, but we lost the front a little bit on the way in. Probably going to get a track limits warning for that. Not quite, because obviously we did lose time out of position to Masia there. Minier's probably going to attack into turn 11 here, because I had to leave the door open to try and get the cutback. And Minier's gone through. And now we've got Guevara trying to pass me as well through the penultimate turn. I'm not having any of that. We've got to keep Guevara behind, because we need to stay on the back of these two in front. But Minier's looking for a pass on Masia already. Minier is not messing around here. Here comes Guevara though. Guevara's coming flying past me. And Minier goes flying past Masia. So Minier hits 1st place. I drop to 4th. But can I get right around the outside of Guevara into turn 1? I think I can. Oh, that was very Qatar-esque where I couldn't tip it in. And that's allowed Guevara and Suzuki to try and get in the mix there and overtake me. There's been a crash behind. Not sure who it is. Try to go around the outside of Tatsuki. But now Guevara's in my way. And that's allowing Suzuki up the inside. Why did Guevara go so slow to the middle of that corner? And that's now allowed Ortola through. Look at this, one thing just leads to another here. The AI feed off the momentum. I'm stuck on the outside as well. I actually can't get back onto the racing line because they're all there. I think this is just a case of the fact that AI are faster than me in places where, in certain places, and they're just slower than me and holding me up in others. Up the inside we go of Ortola this time. We've got him. Almost a crash on that curb. Trying not to go on the green. Ortola hit me again. It's good scrappy racing in this Moto 3 class. We've got a run here on Suzuki. Going to go to the outside. Down towards this turn 10. Around the outside of Suzuki we go. Can we get Guevara as well? Not quite. We've just got Suzuki. Although actually on the exit at the inside of Guevara, a bit like with Masia on the first lap. Well, I'm going to try and get back to the inside here as quickly as possible. Stop Suzuki going at the inside. In fact, we're actually getting at the inside of Guevara myself. So we dropped back through the order pretty quick, but we've also got our way back through very fast as well. So we're back into that podium battle. Masia and Minio have got a little bit of a gap on me now. Masia retakes the lead from Minio as we start the penultimate lap of the race. Minio's looking at the inside through turn 4 here. They could cost each other a lot of time. Minio retakes the lead. I know what line I'm going for into turn 5. Around the outside of Masia. Going around the outside of Minio as well. I'm going to the car park. That's the only place I'm going. Have we got Masia? No, we've not. We're still side by side with Masia, though we might be able to get him. Down towards here. Once again, tried to go on the outside, but to be fair, Masia's covered that off pretty well. But I'm on an optimal line now. That's allowed Suzuki through. A bit like what happened on the first lap with myself and Masia. And now Guevara's going back through. That's what I mean. One AI gets past you, and they all go for it. And Guevara's hit me. There's been a crash behind. I've gone on the green. Track limits warning. It's a little bit unfair because really I got hit onto the green there. There's nothing I could do about it. But it's only a warning, so it doesn't really matter. So about to start the final lap of the race, and we've got a good slipstream here on Tatsuki Suzuki. Can we get back up into the podium spots? New personal best lap of the race on that lap as well. Masia looks like he's going for the lead again. Maybe they will hold each other up. Going into the first corner up the inside of Suzuki. But Suzuki's going to try to hang it around the outside of me. I'm not having any of it. We've squeezed him. We've forced him a bit wide. I've done a wheelie actually through the middle of the corner. What was that? What was that? That's cost me so much time. And now I'm on the grass. I got another track limits warning. We've been hit by Garcia. That wheelie's completely put me off. And that's it. My race is ruined. That wheelie's has completely ruined my race. We go around the outside of Ortola up the inside of Garcia at the same time. This is getting really way too aggressive for what I wanted. And we're going to be probably 5th at best here. Going to try and get around the outside of Garcia. We've done that into turn 5. So coming now into this last sector of the lap, and oh, there's a crash. Messia's down, Suzuki's down as well. And right at the back of Guevara all of a sudden. But that completely took my eye line, so we've not been able to make a pass there. McPhee is now behind us, 7 tenths behind. I think Garcia might have gone down as well. But it looks like we're going to be 3rd place here, but Minio's going to win. That is terrible for our championship. Minio's going to gain 9 points on us here. It's like Texas all over again, but I can't believe that we would have won that race if it wasn't for that wheelie, I would have thought. But towards the line then, McPhee is right there. We've got to be careful McPhee doesn't drag me to the line, because we lost a lot of time in that last sector. But towards the line then, 3rd place here in Catalunya. But the AI, they are back. What a race that was. good scrapping throughout the whole race, battling with Masia, Mino, Garcia, Guevara, Suzuki, even Ortola at some points of that race as well. So we're having a good battle with lots of riders through there. Guevara actually got the fastest lap of 49.8, so Guevara was really motoring on that last lap. I got a 50.1, which, you know, I'll absolutely take as well, because I felt like I was a bit off the pace compared to the AI this weekend. So 7th to 3rd place, pretty good. But it did look like we were going to beat Mino at one point, but sadly, just a few things happened. The AI, once you make a mistake as well, once one passes you, they all start attacking. It was a good scrap. It was a good scrap. So I hope you guys did enjoy that one. 4th place then for McPhee. So we've gained some more points back on McPhee, but I'd assume Mino is going to take over 2nd place in the championship now. He is indeed, and he's now only 34 points behind me, so I had a big lead over Mino at one point. I think I had over 50 points in front of Mino at one point in this championship, and he's now 34 points back on me. But Mino's taken some big chunks in the last couple of races, so I'm going to watch out for Mino. This episode, he's done a lot of damage. McPhee now moves down to 3rd place, 43 points behind. Ortola's 4th place, but we managed to beat Ortola once again. He's now 75 points behind, so I think everybody else is safely out of the championship at this point. They're very, very far behind. But Mino, he's closing in on me a lot there. We've got to watch out, and I bet Snipers are going to be closing in the Teams Championship as well. They are indeed. They took another 6 points out of us there. Only 19 points behind us now instead of 25. So the Teams Championship, it is closing up. I need my teammates to score a little bit better, but I also need to get back to winning ways, because that's the first episode since episode 1 that we haven't won a race. Can you believe that? That is absolutely unreal. With that weekend done then, let's head back to the Career Hub and end off the episode. So then, from that weekend we gained 4,300 reputation points, which takes us up to 48,100. And on the credits front, we finally get past that 100,000 threshold. We get 5,410, which takes us up to 105,100 credits. As for the development tests, we did do most of those actually. I wasn't even trying to do them particularly, but I was just wanting to actually do the times of free practice. But we managed to do a lot of them there, so we now got 597 on the engine and 155 on the frame, although the frame doesn't matter anymore because we've got the final upgrade in development on that. But there we go then, no notifications to the Career Hub, so that brings this episode to a close. So I hope you guys did enjoy that one. I certainly did. Good battling with the AI throughout, 2 decent top 10 finishes, even though we lost some considerable points to Mino in that championship hunt, actually, to be honest. We've lost a lot of points to him this episode. But I think that was probably a couple of the races where I expected that to happen. Catalunya, not so much, actually, and it did look like I could have won at Catalunya, and I probably would have won at Mugello as well, but I'm sure glad I didn't start at the back of the grid at Catalunya, because I would not have been able to get through that pack, that's for sure. But a stark contrast to the last episode. The last episode was kind of boring, the races were a bit uneventful, but this one was action-packed, so I hope you guys did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you'll stay safe, and I shall see you in the next one.